Hi everyone. So in the previous videos we have discussed about how to interface different sensors with PLC. Today we are going to see how to interface float switches with PLC to control the liquid level in the tank using pump. So let us see the application. First let us see what is the table of content. We have problem statement, control and power circuit diagram, PLC wiring diagram and PLC ladder logic. So let us see what is problem statement. So I have a tank where I need to monitor the liquid level. To do this work, I have 4 float switches. The float switches are the one which is going to give the electrical signal when the liquid level reaches to certain point in a tank. So these are digital sensors. It will say either on or off condition. If the liquid level reaches to a particular point, if we have a NO contact, then it will say the switch liquid level reached there, and so that the switch will be in on condition. If you have a NC contact, it will open the circuit. If you have a flow sensor, so it might be an analog sensor, so it may say exactly how much percentage this particular tank is filled. So but these sensors are digital sensors which will say either on and off. So you will determine which level needs to be monitored, say for example 10% of the tank to 90% of the tank. So 10% you can keep one float sensor and 90% you can keep another float sensor. So you the water level can swing between these two levels. So but I have here four float switches to control the liquid and control the motors or pump in different levels with the different sequences. So let us see here how they define the problem. So when the liquid level goes below float switch number 1, so that is here you can see this float switch. If the liquid level goes below than this float switch, then both pump motor should be off. So the pump both the pump will be turned off. If the liquid level is rising above the float switch number 2, that means the pump motor 1 will turn on, and if the liquid level further increases to float switch number 3, then it will turn on the pump number 2. When the liquid reaches to float switch number 4, then at this point it will enable the indicators as well as the buzzer. Okay, so if you want to turn off this buzzer, we can have a reset button to turn off this buzzer, but the indicator lamp will go off only when the liquid level goes below the float switch number 4. Okay, so this is the sequence what they have given here. So let us see how the wiring diagram is done for this particular problem. So here I have a control and power circuit for the set program or set application. So I have a switch to turn on and turn off. This is a selector type switch, but I am going to use on and off push button. So nothing much difference. So it can be wired. So here this switch is going to be kept in on and off condition as per the requirement. Apart from that, we have different sensors: float switch number 1, float switch number 2, 3, and we have float switch number 4, and here reset button to turn off this buzzer. Right. So as per the sequence, when the liquid level is reaching to the level FS1, then this switch will get closed. So that means the liquid level will push this float up and this switch will get closed, and still there is no action taking place. And when the liquid is reaching to the level of FS2, that is float switch number 2, so this particular contact will go up and it will close. So when this is getting closed, then the pump 1 will be on and the latching takes place through this path. So even if the liquid level goes immediately lower than the float switch number 2, still it will run, the motor will run or the pump will run, keep pumping the liquid until it reaches to float switch number 1 condition. So turning on is required only when it is reaching to FS2, but turn off only will happen only when it is reaching to FS1. And if the liquid further increases, what happens here, this float switch number 3 will go up like this and it will close this path. So due to that, this second pump will get on and the latching takes place through this path, Now both pump are running. If further the water level increases or the liquid level increases, the float switch number 4 goes up and it will close the path like this. So when the path is closed like this, then the buzzer will make a sound, and as well as here the warning light will give the indication that the tank is full. Now if you want to reset the buzzer sound, you can press this switch. So once you press the switch here, so the control relay will enable. Once the control relay enable, the latching takes place through this path, and due to that, here this path, this NC contact will open. So the buzzer will go off, but the warning light will be in on condition itself, until otherwise the liquid level goes lower than the float switch number 4 levels. If the liquid level goes below the float switch number 4, then this switch will open. So when this gets open, then automatically buzzer and warning light both will be turned off. And when the liquid level reaches to FS1 or lower than FS1, so this switch will open, so that all the motor, buzzer, everything will go off, or manually you have to turn off the process. So this is how the control sequence takes place in this particular application. So let us see how the wiring diagram is done for this in the PLC. So we have here the Delta PLC, and I have the input switches here. So I have on push button, off push button to turn on and turn off the machine or the process, and I have a reset button to reset the buzzer, and as per the requirement we have 4 float switches for different levels, right. And in the output side we have 2 contactors with overload relay to control or to power this to pump, right. So as per the code, if these inputs, if the input number 1, that is push button 1 to turn on the process, if it is giving the signal here, so then that means the system will start functioning, and it will wait for the signal from the float switch number 1 and 2. If the float switch number 1 and 2 both giving signal, then that means it will turn on this contactor. So when this contactor is getting on, so the pump number 1 will be turned on, and when it is reaching to FS number 3, so that means the liquid level reaches to FS number 3. So this time what happens, the output from the PLC will enable the contactor number 2, so that the pump number 2 will be turned on. And when it is reaching to FS number 4 here, so this will give the output to the buzzer and indicator lamp. So these two will function. So this is the wiring diagram. Here the input and outputs are connected like a sourcing configuration, and the modules, input module and output module, are connected in a syncing configuration type, right. So let us see the program or a ladder logic. So this is the ladder logic for the said application. So let me simulate and show you this instead of showing in here. So go to the simulation mode and download the program, run the PLC, and now the PLC is in on condition. So simulate this, set on this. So this is on switch, and when the liquid reaching to level 1, this switch will be turned on. So the control relay here is getting on. So when it is getting on, the power is available to all the levels, all the rungs here. So once the liquid level reaches to float switch number 2, this switch will get on, and that means the pump 1 is getting on, and it is getting latched here. Even if the water level comes down, then still it is in the on condition itself. Okay, so let me put it back again. When the liquid rises to the next level, so that is reaching to float switch number 3, so now the motor 2 also getting on, and here when the liquid level is increasing further and it is reaching to float switch number 4, then this will get turn on this buzzer and indicator. So if you want to turn off this buzzer, so press this reset button, and immediately the buzzer will go off because of this latching here. So it is giving signal here, it is breaking the contact here, and it is turn off the buzzer, and the indicator is in on condition itself. If the liquid level goes below the float switch, immediately this indicator also goes off, and these two motors at the pump will turn off only, say if you see here, I turn off both levels, so the liquid is decreased below these two levels, but still the pump will be in on condition until the liquid reaches to this float switch, that is the minimum level. So if this level reached or the liquid is gone below the float switch number 1, then the total process will turn off, or if you want to turn off in between, you can turn off by pressing this off push button. So by this also you can turn off this process. So this is the ladder logic. Thank you very much for watching my videos. If you have any comments and any suggestions, please let me know in the comment box. Happy New Year to all. Let this year bring a lot of prosperity to everyone. Thank you so much.